Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you all for coming out this evening and leaving your warm and toasty homes, and also leaving your loved ones on this Valentine's Day. With the permission of the board, I would like to have a motion to move two items up before citizens' comments. One is the Superintendent Smith's report on the results of last week's survey for staff and parents on mask wearing. And the second is Nursing Director Shannon Grauer's COVID update report. I think this would help answer our citizens' questions and help the board come to a decision tonight on where they stand on compulsory versus voluntary wearing of masks for staff and students. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
I'll second
Jeff
it.
Bolte, and who seconded? Linda seconded it. Okay, with that, I will turn the mic over now to Superintendent Smith.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the parents and the faculty and staff for the quick response to the survey that went out last week. Never before, now I've been here 5 years, this is the highest number of respondents that we have received in a survey. 544 of our parents did respond to the survey. So the first question was, what grade, what school that your children are in? So 339 parents at Mary R. Fisher responded, 205 at the middle school, and 142 at the high school. The first question was, if the mask mandate is lifted in Thompson, my child, and the first question was, will not wear a mask while in school, or will wear a mask in school. So the respondents, 441 parents, said that their children would not wear a mask in school. That's 81% of our families. And then would wear a mask to school is 103 parents, and that's 18.9% of our families. Secondly, we asked the question to allow families to have choice to have their children wear face masks starting on February 28th. 81.9% of our parents that responded, or 446 parents, felt like parents should have choice. And then to extend the mask requirement through spring, thinking that we might want to push that time frame up to give us a little buffer, only 41 parents, or 7.5%, felt that was a good idea. And then to push it up toward the end of the school year, only 10% of our parents thought that was a good idea, or 57. So if you just listen to the respondents from our families, 81% of our families feel that it's time for the masks to be ended. And 81% of our families agree with the governor's decision that it would be nice to leave it up to the local boards of education to make a decision around masking. So then we asked our employees here in the district. So that is all of our faculty and staff. And we only have about 200 faculty and staff total. 179 responded, which is a high number. And 68.1%, or 122 of our employees, do not want to wear a mask after February 28th. And only 31.8%, or 57 of our employees, said that they would continue to wear a face mask, which could be by choice. And then the other question was, should we continue to wear face masks to the end of the school year? 11% or 20 agreed with that statement. Should we continue to wear face masks until the spring? 27% or 49 folks agreed with that statement. And most, 61.4%, agreed with ending wearing face masks on 2/28. So my recommendation to the board, based on the data that we've collected, although we have not had a meeting with the Department of Health or the Department of Ed, I believe that at this point it should be choice. And I recommend to the board that we offer families that choice on February 28th. However, we do still have some medical data to share. So I'm going to ask Shannon to come to the microphone to give you the data that she's been collecting.
Good evening, everybody. So first, I want to share what our vaccination status is like. 7.2% of elementary students that are eligible are vaccinated. At the middle school, 26.4%, and at the high school, 48.9%. So that means at Mary R. Fisher, of those that are eligible, 26 students are vaccinated. The middle school, 77 students, and the high school, 107 students. We have a total of 925 students. So as a school system, 24% are vaccinated. The numbers for infections for the month January 1st to present, we've had students 129 out of 925 and 25 staff out of roughly around 200. So we've had a total number of cases since January 1st of 154. There was 1 week that was particularly not very good, and that was the 10th through the 15th. That was the highest amount of students that we had out.
And Shannon, most recently, last week and this week, could you tell us about the number of cases?
They've gone down significantly.
It's gone down significantly.
Absolutely.
I don't know if anyone has any questions about the survey or the medical data.
All right, so at this point, given that data, I will open the floor for citizens' comments. The comments will be limited to 3 minutes, and I ask you please to be polite and respectful. Everyone is allowed to have an opinion, whether it aligns with yours or not. You need to be respectful of their right to hold an opinion and to voice it, as you have the right to yours. These are citizens' comments, and this is not a question and answer period. The board and administration are here to take your comments under advisement and address issues, keeping your comments in mind. You are being heard, as you saw in the survey. If you have questions, please contact the appropriate principal or the superintendent, and they will get back to you. Okay, if you have a comment, please come to the mic, state your name and address for the record.
Kathleen, I think you also have some in the chats too. Just let you know.
Wow, chats.
Good evening. My name is Allison Plant. We're at 46 Klondike Street. This is one of your students within the district. Her name is Madison Mayer. She is a 5th grader at the middle school, and she would like to say something as the first to speak tonight to all of you after all the data has been heard and the surveys. I think the first person you should hear talk is one of your own students who directly will be affected by this. Madison? Just go ahead, speak how you feel.
There's no point in wearing the mask because they're useless and they only keep germs with us. Masks don't help because it affects our daily learning and it's a distraction. They're not mandating it anywhere else except any medical settings, airplanes, theaters, and schools. Masks also cause self-consciousness and difficulty with breathing. And kids from kindergarten to 1st grade, I'm sure haven't gotten the chance to not be in school without a mask. And in my opinion, that's not fair to them.
Her younger brother is also a first grader over at Mary R. Fisher. We moved to this town because we felt during COVID that this town provided adequate and safe COVID measures. You guys have proven that we can successfully be in school during a pandemic. I greatly appreciate that. Both of my kids play at Burrville across the line for hockey. And those kids in the Burrville school system have missed so much school. We've been lucky. Our kids have only missed about a month total during this whole thing. And that's because we've had safety measures in place. But now even the data that our nurse here has provided to you, you've had that data along with the surveys. Overwhelmingly, it's supported that it's time to get rid of the mask, let the kids be kids. I've been on an ambulance for 17 years. I understand the risk factors. If anybody who has been vaccinated and wanted it has gotten it at this point, and those who feel comfortable to wear a mask and feel that it's necessary are more than welcome to and will not be ridiculed. But those who feel that it's safe, those who have been vaccinated, and those who feel comfortable should have the option, just like those who have the option to wear them. It's only fair and it's equitable at this point. And I think it's time to move on and get away and let our kids be kids. My son has not had one day of his public school education without a mask in 2 years. All of you sitting up there have been to school without a mask. I've been to school without a mask. And a majority of the people in this audience and that are listening have had the opportunity to attend school without a mask. It's not fair to our younger kids. They need to learn and they need to be able to see the expressions on faces. Any occupational therapist, physical therapist, and any teacher will tell you the expression is one of the biggest learning curves for these younger kids, especially in kindergarten and first grade. It's time to move on. It's time to get going. So I appreciate you hearing us, and I really hope that you listen to the community and the kids. Thank you.
Any other citizens' comments at this time?
Hi, I'm Ashley Wolf, 272 West Thompson Road.
Speak
And
into
this
the
is-
mic a little.
Oh, can you hear me? And this is Lily. She wasn't going to talk, but she just told me she wanted to. So I will do.
I can barely breathe in masks, and it's hard to breathe because they're always on top of our nose, and I don't really make a lot of friends like my brother does because
Say whatever you want to say. And that's that.
Thank you. Anyone else want to weigh in at this time? We do have another opportunity for citizen comments at the end of the meeting. Okay, hearing none, I will move on to, I don't see any Zoom chats here. You need to raise your hand if you want to make a comment on Zoom. If not, I'll move on to our student spotlight, to our two student liaison members, are Evan and Zainab. Is Zainab here with us tonight?
No, unfortunately not tonight. All right, I'm Evan Antonson. I'm the student liaison. First, I'll start out with the report for this month. So the second semester began on February 1st. On January 14th, the leadership team submitted the 4 Voice for Change proposals to the state of Connecticut. And the 9th, we had our in-service meeting. On the 11th, we had the semester awards and we kicked off our Red Cross blood drive. Today was Valentine's Day and the SSA distributed Valentine's grams to the students. Wednesday is the Pops concert and the 19th to the 23rd is February break. We got a few student voice forms this month. The first was expressed from a student who takes food preparation classes and they'd like the opportunity to cook the foods of their choice in class. This sentiment was responded to by both Mr. Zulette and Dr. Mayo, and it was explained that the school must follow the Healthy Food Act in order to continue receiving funding for meal programs. However, administration is actively trying to allow for as many different meals as possible within their set guidelines. Next, a student shared that they had previously been served hot chocolate during school breakfast and lunches, and they requested that the school bring this back. Mrs. Ouellette contacted Mrs. Durand, and she quickly responded, stating that she would order what was needed and reinitiate the hot chocolate. However, due to COVID, the water cooler needed to make the hot chocolate cannot be allowed at this time. And finally, two students wrote forms about their dislike for intercession. The complaints were from AP and honor students expressing that they thought it was unfair that they were not receiving additional credits like other students. The student council discussed these student voice forms in depth and agreed that there needed to be changes made to intercession. The main concern is the lack of equality in regards to the students taking higher level classes and the need for more activity in the lengthy class blocks. Dr. Mayo suggested a solution that would allow AP students to have the opportunity to take AP test prep courses during intercession for credit. Dr. Mayo said he would look into the credit issue, but that intercession would be a part of the schedule for at least the 2022 to 2023 school year. And then for the student spotlight, each month, Turtle Up Memorial High School Student Spotlight Program recognizes a student who has demonstrated outstanding achievement, character, leadership, attitude, and contributes to the school and community. January Student Spotlight honoree is junior Chloe Manzo, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. Chloe was nominated by fellow peers Hannah LeClaire and Maddie Koziak, as well as Athletic Director Deb Spinelli. Hannah says, Chloe is such a hardworking and friendly person. She has a positive impact on everyone around her. She is very involved within the school community in athletics, and she gives her all with everything she does. Her selflessness, kindness, and humor makes her such a great person. Maddie Koziak adds, Chloe is such a welcoming person. She never fails to make people smile and laugh. She is always positive and caring towards her peers and teachers, and she is involved in multiple clubs and sports teams. She is very inspiring and has made a huge impact on my life and many others. Chloe also has a positive impression and impact on her teachers. Athletic Director Deb Spinelli says, Chloe is one of TMHS's best assets. For those that she has touched, they would be in agreement. For those that don't know her, they're missing out. She has a bubbly personality that lights a room when she enters. She is very thoughtful and has that ability to listen and understand the feelings of another person and what they're experiencing from within their frame of reference. She does this in a trusting and non-judgmental manner. She has been a true friend to that silent majority that feels a disconnect with no voice. I wish we could clone her so that her presence was lasting in our school community forever. When asked what motivates her, Chloe says, the biggest motivation throughout my whole life has always been my mom. She is an extremely smart and wonderful woman with many accomplishments. I always try to make her proud with every choice I make. Besides being an excellent student, Chloe also plays multiple sports, including soccer, indoor track, and outdoor track. She's also a member of several student organizations, including Future Business Leaders of America, the Student Spirit Association, the Yearbook Club, and the Gardening Club. About her future, Chloe plans to become a child psychologist and have a dog or two. Finally, Chloe's message to her school and community is, thank you for choosing me as Student Spotlight for the month. I'm so grateful all my peers and teachers who helped me become who I am today. They've helped push me to be the best version of myself. And are there any questions from the board this month?
I have one, Kathleen. Can you explain to me the issue with the AP course and AP credit again?
Sure. So what they've been doing is, or what they started this year, was at the beginning of the school year, and then in between the first and second semester, they had a different sort of schedule called intercession, where the day was shortened by an hour, and instead of having the typical 6 classes per day, it was shortened to 2 classes per day, which were about, if memory serves me right, about 2.5 hours each. And for people who were especially struggling, due to COVID or something, they had academic remediation classes. And for people who are, sort of in between, the average students, they had, classes that you could do for enrichment or classes of your choice. They had wilderness survival classes. They had cooking with spices, film as literature, classes that typically wouldn't be able to be taken by, during the normal school year because, whether budget issues or scheduling issues. And some of those classes would count for credits that could be used for graduation requirements. And on the other side, for advanced placement students, students taking, for example, I'm taking AP English Language Composition and AP Biology. We had to take those during intercession. We couldn't switch out of those. We had no choice. So for some of the students, they had to go 2.5 hours from one advanced placement class to 2.5 hours to another advanced placement class, which, for 2 weeks straight could be very rigorous. And a lot of the students were upset because, they didn't have the choice to take some of the classes that they viewed as more fun, more interesting, like the other students did. And I know at the beginning of the year, I'm not sure this part of the year, but there were some students who were taking over 2 classes, so 3 AP classes. They'd be missing periods of the advanced placement classes during the school day, and because they're taking more than 2 AP classes. So it was very difficult for the people that are in these rigorous advanced placement classes.
Are you still getting credits for the AP classes?
Yes, we are.
But you're not getting as many AP classes as you'd like. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, we're getting more AP classes. We just don't have the choice to choose any of the other intercession classes that are offered.
So intercession is new this year. We started it at the top of each semester, and there was a method behind that madness. One, to offer remedial classes for students who needed it, as Evan explained, and then also to offer courses that we couldn't offer during the school year so that students could pick up additional credits to put on their transcripts. The downside of intercession is that our AP students had a tremendous workload, and they didn't get the opportunity to take some of those additional classes. So as we look at intercession next year, traditionally intercession is always at the end of a semester. And so that will shift next year to the end of the semester. We did it at the beginning this year, primarily because to remediate that learning gap and add extra courses. Next year, we're going to refine that. And Dr. Mayo is working specifically on the AP issue, because we do agree with you that that was a downside of intercession for the students that were achieving at our highest level. So we want to make sure that we address that. And I know.
So are they getting credits for the intercession?
So what they didn't get and what we have to remediate is that they didn't get extra credit for the extra work they put in for the AP.
Okay. I mean, I think I know the AP is, I think, a very huge benefit for our students. Not only for our students, but obviously for families. And I speak on behalf of being a parent of a graduate who actually graduated college a semester early, half a semester early, and it saved $30,000. So, I mean, if there's anything we can do.
We've prided ourselves in increasing AP classes over the past 5 years and offering virtual high school as another option. Intercession did what it was intended to do, right? It provided students with extra support. It gave students opportunities to get credits in classes that they wouldn't normally take. But what we didn't foresee was the impact on our AP students. And we need to correct that for next year.
Okay, thank you.
We've heard you loud and clear on that one.
So it's more of a scheduling issue, if anything.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now next item of business is the approval of minutes. The first set of minutes we need to approve is from our regular January 10th meeting. Entertain a motion. So move. This is Linda. Linda moves. Second. Jeff seconded. Okay. I have a motion and a second. I need any discussion on these minutes? Hearing none, I'll bring the motion to the floor for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Nope. Okay, moving on. The next set of minutes are from our special meetings of January 18th, 24, and 31st. These are our budget meetings. How would you like to vote on these individually or as a group? We do a group, I would think. Yeah. What did you say? We'll do a group. Group, okay. All right, then I'll entertain a motion from someone.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Kathleen.
Yes, okay, and motion,
Matt, I will
second.
second.
Matt Polsky seconds. Okay, so I have a motion to approve the budget meetings of January 18th, 24th, and 31st. Is there any discussion on these? Hearing none. I'll bring the motion to the floor for a vote. All in favor of approving these minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, the minutes pass. Okay, the next item of business is the subcommittee that we had on the policy subcommittee. Matt is the chair of that committee. Would you just give us a brief blurb on what we did at the meeting and
Sure. We met to review and approve Title IX and sex discrimination harassment policies. We met with Melinda Kaufman of our attorneys, Pullman Conley, and she had everything nicely written, and we made a few minor edits and sent it back, and we shall be submitting those for board approval this evening.
all right, and we will vote on approving those policies as a board later on in the meeting. Okay, so now I will turn the meeting over to Superintendent Smith to give us an update on the enrollment.
Okay, as of February 1st, we have 925 students total in the district. At Mary R. Fisher, we have 414 students, which is down 2 students from last month. At the middle school, we have 292 students. That's 3 students down from last month. And there's been no change at Turtle Rock Memorial High School. We have 219 students. I know you like to know how many out-of-district placements, and that number has remained stable. However, the data behind those numbers has not been stable. There's been a lot of movement, but we ended the month with a total number of 27, and we currently have 69 students that are homeschooled. And I do want to let the board know that I have been in contact with several parents who are homeschooling their students, and that when and if you decide to lift the mask requirement and make it optional, some of those students will be returning to Thompson Public Schools. So that number could change next month.
That's good to know. Okay, we've done the COVID update already.
I have one little thing, just to let people know. The testing program, the on-site testing COVID program, we started it last Wednesday. It went smoothly and quickly. I thank Shannon Grauer, as usual, and Danielle for registering all the students. But we had 95 parents request that their children be tested for COVID, and it didn't take much time at all. And Quest Diagnostics did that testing, and they had their act together. It was very professional and very quick. And Shannon actually did speak to them and let them know that she was pleased with the program overall. So I wanted to say, thank you to Danielle and Shannon, but also to Quest Diagnostics. And it's a free program for those who want to take part of it. So the next item is a special time for the superintendent here. Each year, we get to nominate 6 students for a superintendent award. The superintendent award will be dedicated next month at Killingly High School, but we've invited the students here this evening to meet the board. They have been selected by teachers and principals in their school and then referred to me. I got a chance to meet them last week and took their picture, and I'll post it tonight after this meeting. But I'd like you to be introduced to our CAPS superintendent nominees. Dylan Baranski. Are you here this evening, Dylan? No? Okay. We have Amelia Hatchigan, and Amelia is here. And I will see you next month. Thank you. The next award goes to Colin Peckham. Colin, are you here this evening?
He's online, Mrs. Smith.
Please.
He's online.
Oh, you're online. Oh,
I can't get to them. I can't make this thing work.
so Colin, here is your certificate. And I can't wait to be with you next month at Killingley High School so that you can receive your award then in front of all the regional superintendents and the other nominees. So Dylan is also with us out there in cyberspace. Dylan, so here is your certificate and congratulations for being the nominee for Superintendent's Award as well. Our next nominee is Kira O'Brien. And Kira, I don't see you this evening. Is she here?
Yes, she is.
Oh, there you are, Kira. So congratulations to Kira O'Brien. She is a senior at Turtle Up Memorial High School. And we want to wish her the best. And thank you so much for agreeing to be one of the Superintendent's Award recipients. Thank you. The next award goes to Samantha Pagorni. Is Samantha here this evening? Is she online? Samantha, if you are out there, here is your certificate and congratulations on receiving the Superintendent's Award. And finally, our recipient is Alexander Grauer. Alexander, are you here tonight? Nope, but you're online, Alex. Alex, congratulations. Alex is also a senior at Turtle Up Memorial High School. Congratulations, Alex. Perhaps your mom could come up and get your certificate.
Speech.
I get this thing to go up and down.
Would you like me to keep going? That's it.
Yes, okay. Teacher recognition.
So we have some teachers that I'd like to highlight this evening. We never get an opportunity to shout out about some of our outstanding educators. And so this evening, a few awards and recognitions have come to my attention that I thought the board would be interested in knowing, and I thought the Thompson community would as well. So Patricia Chenille is a mathematics teacher at Thompson Middle School. She is also our math curriculum leader, but she has been awarded the Professional Development Scholarship for Math Recovery Specialist Immersion Award. And this is a full year award of professional development to train Ms. Chenille to be a diagnostician of math disabilities. And so we thank Patty Chenille for applying for that scholarship. And we are ever so proud that she was actually awarded that scholarship this year. So congratulations, Ms. Chenille. Secondly, Courtney Sabanski, she's a mathematics teacher at Turtle Up Memorial High School. She has most recently been awarded a 5-year Connecticut Math Teacher Leader Program Award from Noyce Math Leaders. She is going to be in an in-depth study of mathematics beyond her certification and beyond her master's degree in mathematics. And she will become a real significant resource and math instruction at the high school. So congratulations to Courtney. It was a very competitive application process, and she was awarded one of those coveted 20 Alliance seats in the state of Connecticut. So congratulations, Courtney. Cindy Willett, librarian, a media specialist at Turtle Lake Memorial High School, was awarded the Yukon NEAG School of Education 2022 Alumni Award, and that was just recently released. So congratulations for that Alumni Award, Cindy Willett. Carol Rossetti, a music teacher at Mary R. Fisher Elementary School, is being recognized this evening for her first published book, Read Me a Story. And it is a delightful children's book with beautiful illustrations. And Carol couldn't be more proud of her new publication. And we can't be more proud of Carol Rossetti, who is now not only a wonderful music teacher, but now a published author. And this is her book. So everybody want to take a look at it. It's a great book. And then finally, but probably not finally for our faculty and staff, Ellen Pratt, a teacher at Mary R. Fisher Elementary School, is being recognized. She was featured in the Dulcimer Players News. Dulcimer is a stringed instrument that she not only composes music, teaches workshops nationally, but she is also implementing an after-school dulcimer program at Mary R. Fisher, and the children are thoroughly enjoying the class. They each have their own dulcimer that's made out of cardboard that we purchased the kits, and the students are busy learning how to play the dulcimer under Mrs. Pratt's direction. So not only is Mrs. Pratt a fabulous teacher, and I think she's in the audience back there, and so isn't Carol. Stand up, both of you. But the program after school is being well recognized, and the students love it. And we couldn't be more proud that not only do we have an accomplished musician here, but that she's sharing her talents after school with our students. So thank you, both Carol and Ellen, for being here this evening. We're so proud of you.
I'll pass this along this way. Okay, now, increasing legal fees.
So if you recall, maybe about 3 years ago now, we had gone out to bid for law firms. At the time, the legal fees, which are charged by the hour, were escalating, and we decided, as the board decided, to go out and see if there were other firms that could be comparable. And the board did select a firm, Pullman and Comley, and we were paying about $425 an hour for service. And the board secured that Pullman and Comley for $280 an hour, which is a significant reduction. And I don't know if anybody else, but I have not seen any differential in service and support. They've been a good firm to work with. So we were locked in for the $280 an hour rate for 3 years. And they have asked for an increase to $290 an hour. So the conversation that I'm bringing before the board is whether or not you want to go back out to bid, or do you want to just accept that increase, which I feel is nominal.
Can I make a motion?
Pardon me?
Are we making a motion?
Well, I mean, it's up for discussion. What do you,
you know, should we go back out to bid for $10 for a $10 increase?
I don't think we should. I mean, the service, I mean, spending a lot of time in negotiations with our attorneys.
Right.
I think Steve Sidor does a fine job. I know he's only one of the attorneys out of that firm, but there's been, I think, a better service level with our current law firm.
I can't imagine what Goodman and whatever, you know, I can't imagine what their fees are up to now. Yeah, so any other comments from the board? I'll entertain other comments from the board, but if not, I'll entertain a
Kathleen?
motion. Oh, Heather? Oh, Matt?
So having worked with Melinda the other day, I was very impressed with the quality of work that she presented, and not having experience with our previous attorneys, but just with this one experience, I was very impressed with that quality of work and look forward to working with them in the future.
Bill, you have any thoughts? You've been
No,
with this the longest, so.
Unless somebody wants to make a motion and go out to bid, I say we leave it the way it is.
I don't have any appetite for going out to bid for $10.
No, I like the firm. I like Steve.
Yeah, I do too. I agree. He's been really easy to work with in negotiations, and I just feel that it's just not worth it to go out for $10. So I'll entertain a motion to accept the $10 increase per hour. So Matt's made a motion.
I'll second.
Second. All right, any discussion? I think we've had our discussion, but any other further discussion? No, okay, all in favor of accepting the increase of $10 from 280 to 290, say aye.
Aye.
Any disagreeing, say nay. Hearing none, any abstentions? The motion passes, so we will stay with Pullman and Company. Okay. Now, that would be another 3-year contract, or is it just, is now going to be year to year?
I'm assuming it's year to year, but
Okay,
I can double check on that.
all right. But we will accept the $10.
Okay.
Okay.
So on this next one, Kathleen, for purposes of discussion, I want to make a motion that we drop the mask mandate effective February 28th.
Okay, that's fine. Does anybody second the motion?
Second it.
Just seconds the motion. Okay, the motion is on the floor to drop the mask mandate or make the mask. I don't want to put a motion in your mouth, but that it should be voluntary.
It's always voluntary if somebody wants to wear one.
Okay, all right.
I'm just
Drop
saying
the mask
that
mandate.
we're not going to require it in the schools. The buses are a different story,
Right.
but
We have
in
to
the
make,
school,
that has to be clear
in
too.
the school building,
Okay, as of February 28th, they still wear it February 28th, right? Yeah, as correct, after February 28th. It's February.
March
28th.
1st.
What date
technically,
is the 28th? This
It's
is
a
a
Mon-
Monday. It's a
Monday.
Monday, so yeah, no, they don't wear it to 28th.
no.
As of 28th, when they come to school on the 28th, they will not be required to wear the mask. It's a Monday. Start out fresh on a Monday.
That's my motion.
Right. I agree. Start fresh on a Monday. Drop the mask mandate as of February 28th. I believe that was the intention. Now, and you second that? Okay, just second it. Keep in mind that the governor's mandate is continued for public transportation, which includes school buses. That is not within our control.
Well, that's a federal thing. That's not,
Right,
that's
that's
not
federal.
necessarily the state. That's a
Okay, you're
federal
right.
transportation, just like airplanes and
Right.
buses and all
I
that.
am corrected on that. That's federal. We
Right.
cannot make a decision on that. But as far as wearing masks at school, it expires, it's voluntary as of 2/28. So we have a motion and a second, and it's up for discussion now. My concern is that children whose parents decide to allow them to wear the masks, I'm concerned that I don't want them to be ridiculed for wearing masks. That's my only concern now on that front. So it's up to the parents, apparently 87% of the parents who don't want their children to wear masks to school, which I fully support your opinion on that. If we see incidents of children being ridiculed for wearing masks, it's up to you parents to make clear to your children that that is their parents' choice to allow them to wear these masks. And they should not be ridiculed for that. Everyone's allowed, in my mind, everyone's allowed their opinion.
Kathleen,
Yes,
if I might. That's certainly up to the administrators to take care of that.
yeah,
But I wouldn't say just for wearing masks, if they want to wear different clothes or whatever, there should not be any bullying whatsoever
Oh,
at any
agreed.
time.
And-
And thank you for pointing out the mask thing, but there should never be any, we don't have any tolerance for that
we
under
don't,
any
but
circumstance.
we know it occurs.
Mhm.
And the administrators are dealing with these issues,
Well, we hope they are
Yeah.
are.
and they are hopefully dealing with it, but it happens in any school, but it happens. Now you have lost my train of thought. Okay.
I'm sorry.
There is going to come a point, maybe, hopefully not, but what if we have another Omicron breakout? We have to leave it up to the discretion of the superintendent if things fall apart again and we get a surge.
I would think that if we get a surge
Right,
and the superintendent has a concern, we would have a special meeting and we could either bring back a mandate or have a discussion at that point.
correct. I just.
This
want-
is board policy. It cannot be up to the superintendent just to
Oh, no,
reinstate
no,
it.
but I meant, it's up to the, she tells us we need to be able to get back
Yes,
together.
yeah, absolutely.
Can we modify the motion?
No,
Yeah,
Well, no, I'm just, if you modify the motion to say that the mask mandate, no?
I don't want to modify my motion.
no,
You-
no,
but do you
because
wanna
we
give
would
us
get
the
it, we would have
option
a
to bring
special
it back?
meeting and say, what if 50% of the kids are out now because they've got their surge, maybe the Lambda.
No, but what I'm saying
variant.
is if we modified it just to say that exactly what Bill said on February 28th, but it's up to the board's discretion to have a special meeting if there are circumstances that lead to, or a health concern.
I hear you, but if the superintendent has a concern, we can have a special meeting at any time
Right.
and revisit the situation.
All right, but the motion that you made doesn't supersede any of that and,
No,
okay.
No,
all
I don't,
right.
I think Bill's motion as it stands is fine because we can have a special meeting at any time. I just want to, and not only are we responsible for the education of the children in this town, we're responsible for the health and safety of the kids while
Okay.
they're here, and if we feel there's a threat to their health and safety, then we need to get together and make a decision on something. Or if the government, hopefully the governor would put in another mandate or something. I don't know, but I'm not anticipating that. Let's hope this is gone. Let's hope this is behind us. So, okay, we have a motion and a second to drop the mask mandate as of the 28th of February. Until that time, everybody has to wear masks at the school. Because that's still the mandate in the state of Connecticut. Okay. Any more discussion on that?
So after the mask mandate is dropped, mitigation efforts with quarantining, just so that we just have all that information out as well. That will still be continued, that, whoever's been exposed, they're out X amount of days, that type of.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Shannon, you could speak to that better than I can because you live it every day, but you counsel parents on what they need to do. Correct? So you want to repeat for the board what that is?
So at this point, we're not quarantining kids that are contacts in school anymore because we were advised by DPH that we could concentrate more on assessing and keeping sick children from coming to school and being at school when they're sick. So we're concentrating our efforts on that more than doing all this contact tracing and putting kids out that aren't, it didn't seem to be making that big of a difference. And if there's a family issue, that seems to be what happened in January, was that it was sweeping through households. And so if it's a parent that is sick and has COVID, then the kids then do have to quarantine unless they're vaccinated, because all of the rules are set by the DPH. But mostly it's familial contacts.
So for me as a board member, I fully support this. We won't have any more access than we have now to what we have to take care of the situation. I mean, we are more prepared for COVID than we would be the flu or the stomach bug or anything else. We can test at home. Our kids are vaccinated if we choose. I do think that we are much more prepared in February than we were back in August. And, we do need to make the changes. And as the woman who just spoke, there are kids that have not been to school yet without a mask. And, I think that we're just going to see that kids and behaviors and so many positive things are going to come out of this. But I just want us to all, just be on the same page if the what ifs may happen, that because the masks will go, hopefully, I think today, well, on the 28th, but that if a circumstantial type of situation happens, that we're all open and understanding that that could happen, because we don't know. But no, I fully support this, and I think this is great.
Okay. All right then. So any other discussion on this? All right, then, since I have a motion and a second, I will put the motion forward to the floor for a vote. All in favor of dropping the mask mandate as of 2/28, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Then it passes. Mask will be voluntary on Monday, February 28th. Until that time, masks will be required in the school, and they will be until the feds remove the mandate. They are required on school buses.
Kathleen,
Yes.
could I just make a comment? Lily and Madison, you did a great job speaking tonight. I think you both did a nice job.
We did skip some items.
Yes, we do need to add one item to the agenda.
There,
It's on
the updated.
Oh, I don't have the updated one.
It's
Okay.
right here,
Okay.
combined finance director position.
Okay. Sorry, I have an outdated. All right, the next item on the agenda is the combined finance director. And what is it?
Discussion and possible approval.
Okay, discussion and possible approval of a combined finance director.
So did you want me to give a little background?
Yes,
So
please.
we need a motion first, probably, for discussion.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion that the Board of Ed accepts the proposed finance director shared by the Board of Ed in town.
I'll second it.
Second.
This is Linda. Okay, motion has been made and seconded. So I'll bring, give us a little background on this. What's that already? It's good. Go ahead.
First Selectman Amy St. Ange organized a tri-board meeting to discuss the consolidation of two finance directors into one position. The three boards met, they asked questions. Michelle, our HR director, gave a nice overview and presentation. She did some research. And then each individual board has to discuss and possibly vote on that approval. So that's where we're at right now.
Okay. And doing a little of my own private research on this position. I know it came up, what would the finance, quote, new finance department look like? What would the organization around this combined position look like? And in going out to different towns that have this combined position, we already, and I discovered that we already have the underlying people in place, especially since in our budget, we have added a full-time accounts payable person or promoted or added to that position, became full-time. All the positions are in place except for this combined position. So I feel that even though we may not save a ton of money, that isn't totally the reason that we're going to do this position or that we're going forward with this position. I think mainly what we are going to gain is efficiency and a person that understands the total operations of the town and the school together. Yes, Bill.
Besides the efficiency, I think the transparency is going to be like of the utmost. Here, we're not going to be accused of hiding things,
No.
you know, and the same thing with the town. There should be the distrust should go away with one person that is running the department for both the school and the town. I
Yeah.
think that's going to be huge, along with the efficiency and along with a lot of other good things.
Yeah,
but-
the audits would go a lot smoother.
Right,
I
but
mean,
just the preparing of the budgets,
Yeah.
it just makes a lot of sense to do it like this.
I agree 100%. I'm all for this, but you know, I don't want to sway the board any, but it just makes a lot of sense to have one person, especially with a town our size. The budget's like what, $30 million. And, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot of money.
No, there's some CFOs that handle hundreds of millions of
Yes,
dollars.
you know, so it's, I mean, to us as taxpayers, that's, you know, or as individuals, yeah, that's a lot of money, but in the business sense, in the business world, that's not a lot of money. And one person handling that whole thing would have a greater knowledge of how to shift it and where to put it and how to work it. And the audits would be a lot smoother. The reconciliations would be a lot smoother at your month end, and things would, in my mind, should go a lot smoother and more quickly. That's just my 2 cents worth because I handled a company that had revenues of that kind of money. I was finance director.
Amy St. Ange and myself and the people that are in the business department had a preliminary meeting last week with union representation. just to have a initial conversation around, obviously, the new person would have to come in and assess the situation, and then we would try to shift some duties and tasks around. But we would keep the union leadership and the people that this is going to impact in the loop every step of the way. And hopefully it's going to be a cooperative type of relationship so that, as you said, we can run things efficiently.
And did you get a positive feeling?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
yes, good.
Any other questions? Concerns? So the way this is going to work is tonight we vote yes or no if we want to proceed with this. Tomorrow night, the Board of Selectmen will vote yes or no whether they want us to proceed down this road. And then Thursday night, the Board of Finance will vote whether they want to proceed down this road. So I guess what we're saying is Bill has made the motion that the Board of Ed endorse this idea. And so I'm throwing it out there now. I forgot who seconded it, but somebody seconded it. That we proceed, that we give our okay to proceed down this road. And so hearing no more discussion on this matter, I'll put it forward for a vote. All in favor of giving our blessing to going forward with a combined position for finance director, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Then it passes. We will inform the Board of Selectmen that the Board of Education has approved going forward with a combined finance director and the Board of Finance. Did you do that for us?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, we will get to the administrative reports. Some of them are on Zoom and some of the administrators are with us tonight. So I'm going to start with the high school. So Dr. Mayo, I know you're on Zoom. Please unmute yourself and give us an update what's happening at the high school.
Thank you. I have three pieces. One I'm kind of stealing Principal Granato's thunder, but the 8th grade personal finance class during intercession with Ms. Tupai. She enrolled them in the Capitol Hills Challenge, which is a national stock market game. And two of the teams, they're teams of 10 kids. They're given $100,000 cash account. And they're asked to purchase stocks, mutual funds, bonds with the money and invest. Do the research and invest wisely. Two of the teams are actually ranked in the top 10%, and that's in high schools. So 2 8th grade teams are actually ranked against all other high schools, and they're in the top 10%. So I thought that was pretty impressive by the 8th graders and by Ms. Tupai. So I wanted to make sure to give her some recognition. I thought they did a great job. The kids are doing a great job. I wanted to also, remind everybody that we have a music performance coming up on Wednesday. It's the Pops concert. And I know Ms. Anderson, the kids have been working very, very hard on that. So we're really excited to see what's going on with that. That's again Wednesday night. The last piece is kind of a heads up and more so kind of what's been going on in the state with athletics. And I know that everyone's probably aware of what happened in New London last week with Bacon Academy and even down in Central Connecticut with Lewis Mills. And sportsmanship, spectators and fans, parents and students. And I just wanted to take a minute and just remind everybody that, we have 3 home boys basketball games left in the season. And my hope is that, when everybody comes, and I know I've talked to students about this, but I'm hoping families as well, that we continue to positively, cheer on our players and focus on our players, a lot, and not the refs. and not opposing players. I know it's been a rough year refereeing. There is a national referee shortage. I know that they're going through colleges and asking kids that played in those respective sports to come out and at least think about refereeing. We're not getting great refereeing, but any type of negative comments made toward referees doesn't help anyone. So I just wanted to remind everyone to stay positive. I know it can be difficult. We've seen a rise in this, especially coming out of COVID. And obviously these other schools have really got hit very, very hard with it. But I just wanted to kind of remind our parents and our kids that, we want to stay positive, especially with 3 last home games coming up. And, always remember sportsmanship. So I've been in a lot of directioning with the ECC lately. And I just wanted to kind of take an opportunity to bring that out. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. Ms. Granado from middle school.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, a lot of shout outs tonight. So proud of, first of all, Dylan and Samantha for who will receive the Superintendent's Award in Killingly High School. Looking so forward to accompanying them on receiving their award. They are 2 of the kindest, most sincere, hardworking students I'm happy to report and get to know. Also, a shout out to our PTO and for all the parents who contributed to last Wednesday. We had last week, we had a shout out to all the teachers and had some wellness snacks. The faculty and staff were so very much appreciative of everybody who thought of us. Also to Mrs. Popovich, who I don't think a lot of you know, she's our guidance counselor, but she has been running our after-school tutoring program, and it has really been successful. We have had many students take opportunity over staying after school. I thank you to the teachers who have been staying after and helping our students get caught up. It really seems to have made an impact on our second quarter grade term. Also, during intersession, I really have to give a great shout out to Mr. Knoll. Boy, I'll tell you, Beauty and the Beast, the props and the set design is going to be spectacular. I was able to see the students at work with his guidance and amazing, amazing stuff coming your way. Also to Mr. Leclerc, when we first started out the music program this year, many students barely could play a note. I am happy to report, as I was in the hallway and stopping to take a listen, boy, have they improved immensely. So kudos to Mr. Clear for really producing some great musicians. Also, to the boys and girls basketball team, I commend them in their sportsmanship. They had a great season. They worked really hard. They really accomplished some great strides and made some great gains. And to the cheerleaders who cheered them on, even with masks on, and as a former cheerleader myself, it's not easy to cheerlead with masks on. So kudos to our cheerleaders. Kudos to UConn for winning PBIS. They really got to enjoy some sledding time with some hot chocolate. And finally, to our grade 8 students who really took advantage of intercession by researching some colleges, found out how much college could be and some trade schools, learned all about scholarships, and practiced for some interview questions. So that's our report out from the middle school.
Thank you. Mr. Prentice from Mary R. Fisher.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A pleasure being here tonight. The elementary school continues to do a lot of great things, surrounded by a lot of great faculty, staff, and families. The elementary students celebrated National Hat Day on Friday, January 14th. Thank you to Michaela Parento for bringing that to our attention. A shout out to Heather Burns and her technology department for assisting during the administration of the NEWA testing. We had a few hiccups, but the tech department really came through big on that. So thank you to Heather Burns and her folks. First grade teachers and students participated in what we call the Great Kindness Challenge Week from January 24th through the 28th. And each day of the week, there was a different theme, which included being nice to parents, neighbors, and teachers, etc. So just a really neat thing for the first grade teachers to implement. Mrs. Rossetti and Mr. Leclerc been busy this past month rehearsing with many students in the auditorium. So for the annual variety show. So good job to those two individuals. And again, congratulations to Amelia and Colin. Great job for receiving those CAPS awards. Really proud of you. You really, two really deserving individuals. Great job to those folks. And then finally, just second what Melinda shared. Congratulations to Patty, Courtney, Cindy, and of course, Carol and Ellen, if you're in the audience, which I think you are, congratulations. Two really, really fine educators and really proud of you. Okay, so that's what's happening at the elementary school. A lot of great things, a lot of great people.
Thank you. Dr. Jones.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Great to see everyone. So as Superintendent Smith had stated earlier, we have 925 students in district. Of the 925 students, 225 students are under special education, of which 2 are in determined eligibility, bringing that total to 227. We also have 77 students with 504s. She also stated we have 27 students currently in an out-of-district placement. That's the same as the last reporting period. I have that broken down. 11 students in the Thompson Bradley School Windham County program. We have 5 to Putnam, 2 to Killingly, 2 to Brooklyn, and 1 to Plainfield. As always, we're reaching out and networking with other neighboring districts, offering to host the program. Currently, the percentage is up 24.54%. Currently open positions in the district, which we're really struggling to fill. We have 3 paraprofessionals that we're looking to hire, 1 in the elementary, 1 in the middle, 1 in the high school. Also a district-wide speech and language pathologist. We are proud to offer our safety care training to the district. The dates for that training are as follows. Mary R. Fisher will be on February 19th and the 26th. The middle school will be on March 12th and March 19th. The high school will be on April 2nd and April 9th. And for the security team, that will be on April 23rd and April 30th. And again, this is for the safety care training. What is safety care? Safety care provides the skills and competencies necessary to effectively prevent, minimize, and manage behavioral challenges with dignity and safety. So, we're really excited to offer that to our teachers, our administrators, and our paraprofessionals, and also our security team. Our social worker at the high school, Mrs. Caroline Karabenikoff, is our district-wide trainer. And just an update with CHR, which is currently in the middle school and the high school. It's really providing students and families with the much needed support. And it's really great to have that in district as another opportunity for our families. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Heather Burns, you want to give us an update on IT? Okay, if Heather's not here, we'll skip that. I can't tell because I can't see all the. No. Anyway, Okay, then I'm going to go to Deb Spinelli. I know I can see her.
Hello. Okay, winter season's winding down. Middle school's has completed it. Girls finished their regular season game tonight. We have 3 more boys' high school games left. Indoor track's already finished. And we have registration open for spring sports. Right now, we have middle school baseball, softball, and track. We have numbers on each of them. If you remember, before COVID, we had short numbers with baseball and softball, but we have more than enough right now. High school is a different story with softball. We have very low numbers. Baseball, we're at 11. High school softball, we're at 5. Registration's open. The parent-player meeting for high school is the 1st of March. Middle school is the 2nd of March, and physicals are the 8th. And that's it. Any questions? Okay.
Great. Deb, real quick, registration for sports is on Family ID, correct? That
Correct.
can be found through the website?
Excuse me?
Is that found through the Thompson Public Schools website?
If you go to the website, drop down at athletics, and then
Yeah.
you scroll all the way down, you'll see a little blue box. It said register here.
Okay.
Just click that.
All right, you'll have 6 soon.
Okay, good.
All right, then. Bill Birch.
So I guess first and foremost, for the first time in a long time with all of the warm weather, cold weather, snow, ice, there have been no roofers on site. So that's been a long time coming. Beyond that, we're actually trying to get things together for some projects coming up next year. Some of them based on the budget. There are some other projects moving along with the trust that we are putting some numbers together with. There are some exciting things planned possibly for the Rescavage Auditorium if it all works out. So we're working on those. The new windows are currently going in the Turtle Lot building. The stair towers, they started 2 weeks ago. So those windows are going in, and the new windows will be going into the technology department while school is closed next week. And other than that, there's some other repair work going on, but all in all, things are in pretty good shape.
Thank you. Michelle Giamaranaro.
Good evening. So I presented the handbook outline that I did to Mrs. Chenille, Mrs. Sabanski, and Mrs. Trudeau. They thought the outline and the table of contents was well done, well said, and now I'll be building the body of it and completing it hopefully by the end of, the goal is to have it completed by the end of March to present to Melinda by April 10th. I'm completing the job descriptions for the school. Those will be done at the end of this month. And then I've answered all of the outstanding questions from the tri-board meeting on February 3rd. And I'm continuing the hiring process for the combined finance director position. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And then Bob, how are we looking, still looking good for year end, correct? Yep.
So year-to-date spending is at 52.7%. Last year was at 46.9%. Encumbrances are less than last year at the same time. 45% of the budget's been encumbered. Last year was almost 50%. So the current projected spend is 97.7% of the budget, which is 18.7. Last year was 96.8. The special ed tuition and transportation is at the same level. It's been at the same, it's been flat for like the last 3 months for projections, which is great. Did a quick budget review tonight based on some of there were some adjustments to it, but very, very minor. And the thing I'd like to point out too, next is a cafeteria. And one of the things about the cafeteria fund, I mean, you're actually running a P&L as opposed to cash on hand. And it's not a cash balance, it's more of a P&L. And so the year-to-date ending cash balance is negative 15,000. But you have $104,000 in grants that are in the hopper on the way in the mail. So those are counted as receivables. They're added in to the cash balance, plus the inventory. There's no bad lunch debts yet. And the year-to-date computed operating position for the cafeteria fund is in the black for $109,000. Okay, so, and basically the way that I report it with the year-to-date computed operating position, that's the way we're supposed to report it to Child Nutrition Program from the State Department of Education. And it's also accepted GAAP principles to use the receivables as part of your operating position, as opposed to being focused on cash on hand. So that's a pretty healthy balance sheet. And I talked to other business managers in the area, and a lot of them are subsidizing their cafeteria programs. So what you all have got going on in the cafeteria program is pretty substantial right now. It's pretty good. And this is considering the amount of free meals that we give. And that's it. Are there any questions?
Okay. Thank you, Bob. I believe that's it for the administrative reports. Is there any old business that someone wants to bring up? Tom?
Yep. Is there an update, Bill, on the security gate, the installation of the security gates? Any time frame?
By mid-May, they expect to be complete.
And then the other one is the Vision program still running its course? The Vision program?
Oh, so the Vision program, yeah, we just received word from that group. They had been, like everybody else, trying to hire opticians, and they ran into a stumbling block, but they're supposed to come back out in the beginning of May to do the follow-up exams. And then if the glasses are not ready by the last day of school, they're going to mail them home to the families. But we were pushed back because of their hiring. They weren't able to hire opticians to do that. But they did give us a date. I asked for a solid date. I'm going to get that out to the families this week. I have to send out correspondence based on the board's action today. So I'll include that as well.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Can we discuss the high school bathroom issue? It's because it was requested that there be at least some follow-up to parents for that, and that was one of their concerns in the past, is that they haven't been being heard on that. So if we could just provide just a short update as to what's going on with the bathroom issue.
So first of all, I want to be clear that I support the principal's position on monitoring the bathrooms. We have had security in and out of the bathrooms, and we do have staff posted outside of the bathrooms. Our goal is to phase that back. We have been working with CIRAC and Dr. Mayo and myself, putting in some programming and some training around vaping and those kinds of activities that have been happening in the bathrooms. And one of the reasons that we had to put the strict supervision on. But our goal is to get that phased back. Our target goal is by April. So we are working on that. Dr. Mayo, we had a hard time hearing you when you were talking last, but if you could give the board an update on that practice at the high school.
Oh, can you hear me now?
If you could speak a little louder, it'd be a little better.
So basically, where we're at is we have relaxed a little bit on the bathroom policy. We do have some females that if I do have a couple of students go and I have a female staff that hovers in the doorway, I hover in the boys' doorway. We generally haven't really had to do that, to be honest with you. Students are coming and going at a pretty even pace, so we really haven't had any waiting. And again, we utilize 6 bathrooms, so we really haven't seen any issues with it, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
And we are looking for some additional aides to help us with supervision. And we're hoping that once that is all in play, we'll be able to roll that back even further. We certainly don't want to treat high school students like babies. We don't want to do that. But we also have had some concerns with some incidents over the past few weeks that we feel that supervision is still key. But I am hoping that that's going to be rolled back as the weeks wane on.
Right, and these incidents were, in some cases, could have been very serious, so. All right. Next item is new business. We have 2 policies that we need to have approved. One is Title IX, and then the other for both. The other one is sexual harassment for both students and staff. Find them now. And we did have, obviously, we did have legal representation in putting these together, legal advice in revising these policies.
The biggest thing with those policies were they were to be brought up to the changes that happened nationally and then statewide. One of the directives in the sexual harassment is training. And so all of our employees last year participated in an in-depth training on sexual harassment. This year, we have 6 months to get the new employees up to speed on their training. And I know Michelle is putting that in place for February 23rd for any new employee that hasn't been trained. And then that will be an annual training for any new employees. The training is supposed to last, be good for 10 years. However, the attorney did recommend that we do refreshers every few years, which we plan on doing. But we did secure an online module that our employees can take along with some of our other training that's online. So Michelle's going to be implementing that shortly.
So Kathleen, both of these have been reviewed by our attorney and they're coming from the policy subcommittee. Then I Then I make a motion, we approve both of them.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a Matt.
Yep.
Second?
Bill made the motion, I seconded.
Oh, okay. I thought Tom made the motion. No, okay, Bill made the motion. All right, we have a motion and a second to accept. There's 4 different policies here. One is for the staff personnel section, and the other one is for the student section. They differ a little bit, obviously, different audiences. And they're both of them are sexual harassment policies. One is specifically for Title IX, and the others are more general. There's little nuances between the Title IX and the general sexual harassment policy. Okay, hearing the motion to accept these sexual harassment policies. I'll put it forward for discussion. Any questions? Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll put it forward to the floor for a vote. All in favor of accepting these new revisions to the policies? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, say nay. Any abstentions? When the policies pass, we will replace the old policies and add the new policies to our employee, to our policy books. Right, do we have any correspondence? No? Okay. Citizens' comments at this time. No citizens' comments? Online, does anybody have one online? I can't tell. I don't see any. Hearing none, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Meetings adjourned.